Alright, we've made it. We are up to 51 subs, and as part of the 51 sub special, I'm going to tell you something interesting about the number 51. Now, whenever I tell you something interesting about a number, it always comes straight from my head. Alright, we've got a problem. So, just using my own brain, it's that 51 is not actually an interesting number. Okay, right. When I tell you facts about interesting numbers, usually I start in this book. It's a lovely book. It's just like a dictionary, but of numbers. It'll tell you an interesting fact about the number 49, or 51 in this case. But unfortunately, for the number 51, it says it's not an interesting number. It hasn't got anything to say about that. But the problem is that this says that it's the first uninteresting number, which therefore makes it interesting. Is that how it works? What mathematicians like to do is put things in lists, and mathematicians are very good at this. They'll have a list of interesting numbers, and then they'll have a list of not interesting numbers, uninteresting numbers. In the interesting list of numbers, they'll put numbers like primes, 2, 3, 5, squares like 9 and 16, and cubes like 125, and so on. But then in the uninteresting numbers, they put all the numbers which aren't any of these interesting ones. So like 51, that goes in there. But does it? But mathematicians, as funny as they are, they get this little situation where they say, right, those numbers which are uninteresting, there's going to be a first one in that list. If there's a first one in that list, that makes that number interesting because it's the first number which is not interesting, which then makes it interesting, so they move it across. But then once they've moved it across, they get another first uninteresting number, which makes that one interesting, and that gets moved across. So the interesting number paradox is that there is no such thing as an uninteresting number. I, for one, hate that idea. I can't get my head around that. The worst thing is that there's no set rule as to what's interesting and what is not interesting. And for mathematics, that's a real big problem because, like, is it an even number or not? Well, it either is or isn't. Is it a prime or not? Well, either it is or isn't. Is it interesting? Well, that depends upon you. Now, here's the really funny bit. I think 51 is an interesting number anyway. For this reason, let me show you this. Imagine that's a pentagon, right? This is the first of the centered pentagonal numbers. It might be a little bit difficult to imagine, so we'll go on to the next one. Right, this is the second one. And that number is 6 because we've counted up those dots. And there are 6 of those dots. Let me just move on to the next one. You see where this is going? Look how we add the dots up. The first one was 1 dot, then on a side there's 2, then there's 3, then there's 4, and this is the 4th number. Adding up all those dots. And the 5th one, doesn't that make it an interesting number by itself? These are the centered pentagonal numbers. There's another list of numbers called the pentagonal numbers. Let's start back with our pentagon, right? If we add our dots to make a pentagon in a slightly different way, see what we're doing there? We're just extending a side. Just extending a side. You end up with, now ignore the purple, just looking at the red and the blue. That's the 5th number, and that number is 35. And then if you draw on the next one as well in purple there, you get 51. The 6th pentagonal number is 51. So, isn't 51 interesting anyway? I think it's interesting anyway because we've now got 51 subs. Isn't that lovely? Let's keep going. I think my beard's getting a bit long. Also, decided to shave my head a bit weird. Don't like it, but